This feels a little bit different, doesn't it? If you're an Ireland fan, are you daring to dream now? Is destiny calling? Another incredible performance. That's 4 from 4. Let me just turn the camera around and show you what I can see. It's going off in the Stade de France. The Irish players down on the dugout, absolutely all hugging. The fans are all pretty much still in the stadium. Scotland out on the pitch. They know their World Cup has ended. I'll talk about them in a minute. But this is all about Ireland, isn't it? And you can see there's a sea of green around this stadium. My goodness me, do these fans travel. Unbelievable. Right, thank you very much for watching. I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers. Back to me, and let's talk about that game then, which I absolutely loved. It does feel different. It really does. Ireland versus the All Blacks here then, this time next week, next Saturday night, is going to be something else. And, you know, there's the joke we've had many times about Ireland peaking between World Cups. It genuinely feels like they're peaking at a World Cup. They seem to be taking it a step on, and don't get me wrong, every single one of the 4 teams on this side of the draw in the quarterfinals are exceptional. But this Ireland team are very special. And I'd love to know, please tell me in the comments, what's it like having a team that to cheer for, that deliver on the promise, that attack and defend like you know they're capable of doing, and bring it. It's been a long time since I've had the luxury of being able to cheer that. I would love to know. And from a neutral perspective, just Ireland were just too good, and that was actually spoilt the spectacle a little bit from my perspective, because the game was done so early, wasn't it? I'm going to turn the camera around and just show you what's going on. But the game was done so quickly, and that kind of took the energy out of the stadium a little bit, if I'm honest. And the atmosphere wasn't quite at South Africa versus Ireland levels, probably for that reason. And I don't know if you can see, but just over there, can you see this little area here? Those are the TV presentation positions, and they were empty today. And so I think that basically means all of in Ireland, I'm assuming it was the case, and in England it was definitely the case, that this was being presented from a studio. And these are those occasions, that probably tells you a little bit about where rugby's at, that's what's going on. You've got an occasion like this, 2 home nations playing in effectively a World Cup knockout game, and people are in a studio and not here because it's too expensive to send people along. It just, it tells you where rugby's at. Hopefully that will change for the knockout stages, I'm sure. Can I also say what an absolute honour it was to be here for Peter O'Mahony's 100th appearance, the war god, there was no way he was going to let Ireland lose, even if they've been off form today. As it was, he was great, and Ireland got in a position where they were able to take him off, take Johnny Sexton off, take other key players off. But some players they weren't able to take off. I'm going to turn the camera around again so you can see, because a little lap of the pitch. Scotland are down this side. Oh, fair play the Irish fans. They're showing they're clapping the Scotland fans going round. It's cruel, Scotland. It's really cruel. I'll get to you in a minute. The draw, obviously. But yeah, the Ireland fans, everyone's appreciating the performances of both teams. But Ireland weren't able to withdraw Gary Wingrose. Well, he became Gary Wingrose because he had to go on the wing. They weren't able to withdraw him from the fold because of injuries, and hopefully Mac Hansen, James Lowe are okay. I don't know. What do you know? I wasn't listening to the commentary, so I've got no idea what happened to them. I think Mac Hansen was an HIA, so hopefully precautionary. But they weren't able to take other players off, and Gary Ringrose very important, so I'm sure Andy Farrell would have liked to have withdrawn him from the action. But that's what's special about this Ireland team. It doesn't actually matter who is out on the field. The system and that hive mind that I talk about is like a green Borg, and it just works. So Jameson Gibson-Park and Gary Ringrose are on the wings. They still run the same shape, still run the same patterns, and it still works. And name a more iconic duo than Johnny Sexton and a wraparound move, which worked. I mean, defences know it's coming, and they still can't stop it. And as it was the case for that first try, who scored the first try? Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Oh, I've forgotten. I've lost it. Oh, fair play. The crowd are brilliant here. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Not a time for facts. I can do all that another time. But yeah, just privileged to be here in this Paris stadium for 2 of Ireland's performances. They're just an exceptional rugby team, proper rugby team. And this week, what I've noticed, I've seen this week New Zealand, Ireland's opponents. I've seen Ireland, I've seen France. The core basic skills of those teams are on another level from most teams in World Rugby. South Africa, obviously, they're there as well. They bring a slightly different game. But the competency, and I think back to England earlier, and it's like, I know that those England players are good players, but what is it about the systems and the coaching that means these teams go out and do it and deliver, execute at pace? This is fantastic. This is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So Scotland, I mean, do you just come away from that moaning about World Rugby, or do you come away frustrated that you didn't really throw a shot? Scored a couple of tries when the game was already done, but you only scored 3 points against South Africa. You were 36-0 down against Ireland. I think, you know, the pool did you no favours. But I'm disappointed with Scotland in this World Cup. Maybe you were never going to qualify, but I'm not sure you showed your very best. And that's a shame. That's a real disappointment. Man alive, Ireland are good. Champagne rugby. And yeah, they did those 2 like intricate moves for the first couple of tries, and then Hendo bashes it up for a bit of brute force. But in between, you had some goal line stands where they were just not going to let Scotland score. And it's defence, it's attack, it's the whole thing. So I'm just in awe of this team. I'm in awe. We even had a nice little old-fashioned scuffle. Pierre Schumann and Dan Sheehan going over the advertising boards in a bit of a wrestle. Always amazes me that it never breaks out into a full-on fist fight. But there we go. Just awesome. I think what I'll do is, because I've completely lost any sense of what happened. Oh, here we go, yeah. James Lowe scored, then Hugo Keenan, then Hendo, then Keenan, then Sheehan, then Ringrose. That Ringrose try was maybe my favourite one. So it said everything that's great about Ireland. They'd had all these players come on, they'd had people playing in different positions, and they stuck to the system, they absorbed the phases, kept going up hard through the middle, and then waited for the opportunity, and then just the crossfield kick brilliantly from Jack Crowley, and away they went. There's so many fans still in this stadium, and the noise they're making is brilliant. What a team. What a team. I'll come back to the thing I said at the start, at the end now. And Scotland, we'll have a post-mortem about you another time. This is Ireland's night. Could be Ireland's World Cup, and that's my final question. Are you really genuinely daring to dream now, or are you still terrified of next weekend? Let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe while you're there, and give a thumbs up on the video. Well done. Enjoy that win. I'm definitely going to enjoy tonight in Paris, and that's because there's about 50,000 Irish fans that are going to make it a very, very enjoyable night. Oh, just to be clear, the cheer then was because Peter O'Mahony just, all he did was raise his hand like this. And that's the noise he gets, deservedly so. Brilliant. See you on the next video.